Chapter 18 of The Paper Bag.
We stayed on the cargo ship as we traveled to Texas and docked in Galveston earlier than planned. Gil gave me coveralls. They were a little big, but I was glad to have them.
Your mother's funeral is this morning. I have arranged for us to view it. Then we will leave immediately after.
How will we view it?
I have a direct link to Skunk. She bravely volunteered to stay so we all could witness it.
Eddie came onto the cargo ship with Andy. Most of the Organsis tribe and the American clan had gathered on the cargo ship for the funeral. Eddie made himself comfortable in a lounge chair to sun himself. Many of the dragons were out on the deck soaking in the warm sun. Even my father was out in it.
Your father is doing much better since you joined us.
Well, he isn't the dad I remember. What is French Guiana like? Are there many dragons there?
I have been freeing dragons from all over the world, and I bring them to my home.
So, how many dragons are there?
I'm not sure, but this is my second trip, so about 6,000 counting us.
But these yachts only hold about 300. I'm not sure about this cargo ship, but not more than 1,000.
I didn't use these ships.
What did you use?
I stole a cargo plane and crash-landed it. I was getting supplies and visiting my Aunt Helen. I am related to her husband.
My mouth fell open. She smiled brightly at me and pushed my chin up so my mouth was closed. I didn't know you could fly a plane, I finally said.
Actually, I don't. Taking off was easy and flying, but we ran out of fuel. The Seraphim got everyone off before it was too late. We only had to travel for a day. It was a great adventure.
She clapped her hands together. Then she looked serious.
Skunk said that the funeral for your mother would be this morning at 10. Her viewing is at 9. Cass's inauguration will follow an hour later.
I balled my hands into fists. Smoke curled out of my nose.
Calm yourself, young dragon. I thought you wanted all the news from home.
I do, I said through gritted teeth. Taking deep breaths and letting them out slowly always calms me. But since my transformation, it has been hard to manage my temper.
Maybe you should go be a dragon for a while. It might help. Besides, it helps fuel the ship.
I see. You want to get rid of me.
No, really, being a dragon for a while will help you with your anger management. I am sure you could get a few drakes to join you in the fireproof room.
As I stepped through the threshold, she called.
Salty wants to see you sometime today. He's occupying your dad's old room. If you need help finding it, I'm sure your father will be glad to show you the way. He said it was very important.
Why does she make me feel so good? These were the thoughts running through my head when I stepped out onto the deck. Does anyone want to spend some time with me in the fire room? I am going to practice spitting, I announced. Not one leatherback said anything. They just laid in the sun like a herd of lazy lizards. You've all gone soft, I shouted. Andy nudged Eddie.
All right, I'm going.
My father came out of nowhere to join us. Dad, why do you spend most of your time camouflaged? I asked when he caught up.
I'm still adjusting to dragon life. I want to see you spit fire.
We entered a small white room with a hole on one side about the size of the opening of a garbage can. On the wall opposite of it was a sliding scoreboard similar to those used when playing billiards.
I'll go first.
With a talon, Eddie drew a line on the floor. There wasn't enough room for both of us to be dragons at the same time and stand at the back of the room. It was good exercise for me because I was still having trouble getting into my dragon and back out.
Get ready.
He didn't hack. A huge fireball came from his mouth dripping with flames. His aim was good, right in the center. He moved his beads to the other side. I closed my eyes and willed my body to change. The heat I feel when this happens is amazing, but I am still very clumsy.
Try not to trip.
Eddie chuckled as I stumbled over my big feet walking up to the line he had drawn. Fire filled my throat. I took in a big breath and spit. It went about 3 feet in front of me.
Maybe I should have drawn a kiddie line.
I glared at him as my body shrank.
Can I give it a try?
We both turned and looked at my dad as he came out of camouflage. Have you spit fire before?
Never tried.
He shrugged. He was so much like a seraph I wasn't sure. Eddie, on the other hand, started instructing him.
Well, let's test you. Dragon up, stand at the line, and work up a good phlegm ball. It should come naturally if you have the ability.
In pink dragon form, my father hacked up a perfect ball of phlegm and spit as it ignited into the center of the hole.
That was worth 2 points. Did you see the size of that thing?
Yeah, I saw it.
Why are you so glum?
He didn't stutter this time. Nothing about being a dragon is easy for me, except divining and understanding or reading different languages.
I would much rather have those two talents than look like a girl.
He was right. What was I complaining about? It was my turn again. Instead of trying, I just let it happen. I got into my dragon, stood at the line, and let everything happen naturally. The fireball hit the wall, but I didn't care. It was a success.
Did you see that?
Yeah, maybe next time you'll get it in the hole. But you made progress, kid.
Eddie patted me on the shoulder. I lost, but my dad won. That made it a win for me too because he was so happy. Another group of dragons arrived to use the room. Gil was in the group.
Snow sent us. I am to tell you that it is almost time.
We left the room and headed to the cabin. If the casket isn't open, I won't believe she's dead.
Why?
I didn't get to see you and Mom the last time I went to a funeral. I don't want to be tricked by Cass again. Do you think she really is dead? My dad shrugged and put his arm around me.
I guess we will find out.
His voice sounded sad, as if he knew she was gone, or he didn't dare hope that she wasn't.
In order for Cass to take the crown, she would have to produce a body.
That's why she wasn't crowned queen before, though she had all the power a queen has. We entered a large room half filled with folding chairs of all kinds arranged in neat rows, all facing a flat screen on a small table. A large bouquet of fresh flowers was set on the floor beside the table. I sat between Eddie and my dad. Snow gave me a box of tissues and placed one on each row. The screen flickered on and we could see the grand hall. Like the ship, it was filled with chairs.
I am sorry that we couldn't get up closer, but Skunk is risking her life to give us this information.
She walked up to the open casket and looked down at my mother. The camera must have been mounted on top of her head in a hat or something. My mother's body was indeed in the casket. Beside me, I could feel my father shaking at the sight of her. I turned to look at his face. He was trying to hold back his tears. Then he stood.
That's not your mother. Behind her left ear, she has a bright red-colored scar. She and Cass were playing, and she fell out of a tree and was stabbed by a bush. The scar raised the scales so they look like a small rose.
Dad, we can't see behind her ear. Snow whispered something and Skunk lifted my mother's left ear lobe. There wasn't a rose. She rubbed the skin as if makeup had covered it up. There still wasn't anything. She checked the other ear. Behind it was a faint rose barely visible sticking out of the black skin.
I forgot what side it was on.
I didn't want it to be her either. I put my hand on his back.
Do you see that, Jack? Your mother still has an aura.
I stood and Andy followed me.
Haven't you noticed it? Every living thing has an aura.
Squinting my eyes, I looked at the screen. A white light was emanating from her skin even though it was blackened from the poison. I turned and looked at Andy. My mother is still alive. It's a recycling poison. Is my mouse dead? I asked the group. Angus stood.
Your mouse hasn't died yet, even though I gave it more poison as you asked.
That's what I thought. It must cycle through the body. Angus, how many days did it take last time for the mouse to die?
3.
What has it been? 2 days or 1?
Just 1 day, but the poison has been in her for a while.
If she has an aura, then we still have time. I'm going to save her. I took hold of Andy's hand. Will you please come with me? Then I looked at Eddie to see if he was okay with it. Smoke curled his head as he walked out the door.
Nobody kills my sister twice and gets away with it. Cass has finally crossed the line. This needs to end now. I'm taking your helicopter. I hope you don't mind.
He looked at the group. Peppy grunted at him. Snow put a hand on his chest.
Don't put a scratch on it.
Peppy waved a heavy tool threateningly. Eddie smiled.
When this is over, you and I can play.
Wait, we are going without a plan? I rushed after him.
I have a plan to negotiate, then I'm going to start smashing things.
My mother doesn't have time for negotiations. What are you going to do, waltz in there during the coronation and make an announcement? She'll know you're not dead.
She already knows it. I'm going to sneak in and have Matthaus bring them to me and talk to them privately, a couple at a time.
Salty and a line of dragons were just catching up with us.
Her coronation won't start on time. They never do.
Salty huffed, joining our group.
I'm going with you.
2 teenagers were trailing behind him.
Jack, we have been studying your law, and as a diviner you have the right to determine if the queen is deceased before a new queen can be crowned.
The taller of the two said. They both had red hair, fair skin, and brown eyes. The short one was carrying a tablet computer. Who are you?
We are archivists, the same as Salty. We are only in training, and now we have a teacher.
We discovered something in our records that we think might help you.
The smaller of the two said and handed me a note in Salty's handwriting. Salty took it from me.
We will discuss this while we travel. I want to see our history as it unfolds.
Bean and Tad joined us as we reached the helicopter and the two seraphim I saw the night before. The helicopter only seated 6, so Tad and one of the seraphim stayed. As we were taking off, I saw Snow transform and pick up Happy, and Tad followed with the other seraph. Salty handed me back the paper and said to my mind,
Most diviners work in their human form because they can feel with their hands better. What the twins discovered.
I interrupted him. I thought dragons don't have twins.
They didn't until now. They are called that because they are both archivists, and everyone thinks they look alike. What the twins discovered in their records is that your divining skills are heightened when in dragon form, especially when you are healing a dragon. But you may also have the ability to heal animals and humans. I also found some information on a serpent's tongue. You shouldn't have to practice it. When you want to use it, just speak calmly and it will happen. You need to clear your mind.
The only time it works is when I'm angry.
Yes, because you were focused on the question you needed answered.
Focus and clarity, I sighed. 2 things I was sure not to have today. Why are you telling me this now?
No one can refute a serpent's tongue. And in dragon form, you will have the clarity and focus you need to use it.
So, you think I will need to use it today. But Cass is a guardian. I tapped a finger on my head.
That is true. Maybe you know someone who knows all her plans that isn't a guardian.
Salty arched an eyebrow at me. I didn't say anything, but he had given me enough that a plan was forming in my mind and I knew what needed to be done. We landed in the meadow near the Organsis village where I watched Snow turn into a dragon. Heppy landed nearby. We gathered at the trailhead.
Security will be high. Wait here while I take care of it.
How long? I've waited a long time to see Cass go down.
15-20 minutes.
I'm going with you. They won't see me as a threat.
You have a plan, don't you? I can see it on your face, kid.
It's not a good one, but it's all we got.
Well, you're my distraction. Just make it last 15 minutes.
Eddie and I took off running. It felt like our regular morning exercise, only we ran at full speed. I felt strong and optimistic because I had another chance to save my mother. Before we reached the patio, I got into my dragon and stumbled into the house. Eddie disappeared down the servants' hallway. As I tripped, I knocked over a table with a lamp on it. The sound alerted security. Mateus came running into the room. He had me on the floor in 2 seconds. His strong arms held my mouth tightly closed. 2 other guards tethered my feet. It's me, Mateus. Jack. I transformed into a dragon when I heard about my mother's death. Will you get off my head? I said to his mind, hoping he heard me. He quickly released me and helped me to stand.
So sorry, my prince.
I want to see my mother.
Mateus bowed several times. The others rushed out of the room and announced,
Prince Jack is here to see his mother.
I was sure that Cass didn't know where I was all night, but the last person she would have seen me with was Snow. Though I wasn't sure if she heard our conversation because she was on another path outside of the village. I strode clumsily into the room, hitting my head on the doorway. The grand hall was filled with dragons clear past the front doors that were open wide. They were not my focus, my mother was. In dragon form, you would think I would be able to control my emotions, but I burst out crying. Behind me, I heard many undecipherable voices whispering. Instinctually, I uncovered her feet and placed my hands on them. Her frozen blood began to move. Though I have not received any new poison training, in my dragon form I had a lot more heat. Her color started to return as her blood started to move. I went to her heart, then her hands, repeating the process several times until her skin returned to its original color. I could see the poisons within her, but Andy had the rest of the code. My mother didn't wake. Everyone was standing witnessing my miracle.
She is still alive.
I announced to the congregation.
I need help. Is there another diviner here who could help me? There are too many poisons. It will take 2 to cure her.
I knew Andy's father wouldn't let her come into Cass's house, so I needed them to let me take my mother.
No diviners other than myself? How about Andy?
Cass came to me and put her hand on my arm to comfort me.
The Yellow Hands have betrayed us. They took your sister and poisoned your mother.
How could she say that? I pushed her away and turned towards the crowd.
My aunt thinks that she can fool me and her clan.
She backed away from me, looking dignified like I was lying. Frank had a different expression. He was afraid and backing into the crowd.
My dear Uncle Frank, would you come here, please?
He ran into Mateus, who brought him back to his seat. I cleared my mind and focused on my questions.
Who poisoned my mother?
It worked just as Salty said it would. I caught a glimpse of him out of the corner of my eye. He was with our group standing in the doorway to the kitchen. Snow was in front looking beautiful. The room was silent as I asked my question.
I did, by order of my wife. I didn't want to do it.
He is lying. I had no idea what he was doing.
Someone quiet her, please.
Several guards came forward and restrained Cass.
What type of poison did you use?
A synthetic poison we developed at JP Pharmaceutical.
How did you discover this poison?
I studied the old text to make sure it would be incurable and tested it on lesser dragons. I used my knowledge of a vast array of poisons and tried different combinations until I had a long chain.
Who have you poisoned? And why? Start at the beginning.
I was surprised at how calm I was. It was as if my body knew how important this was to me. All emotion was pushed aside.
My first was Victor, because he made Cass mad. Then Salty for marrying a lesser dragon and making it difficult for me to do my work without his interference. Then Simon and his wife for attempting to run away. Then Lupita, because Cass needed a wet nurse for Rose, her daughter wasn't skilled enough to divine that her mother was poisoned. Then her husband Bean, because Cass didn't like him. The Queen, because Cass wanted Rose for her own and the crown. Then Eddie, because he is in love with a lesser dragon and is attempting to free all our slaves.
The congregation let out a collective gasp.
Is there anyone else?
Thana, so she couldn't overthrow Cass and claim the crown.
The crowd went wild. Then, out of frustration, I bellowed deep and loud.
Silence.
Everyone went down on one knee, even the women.
He has the king's voice.
I heard Bean say.
Only a true king has the voice to bring his people to their knees.
He and Andy came and stood by me. Snow was kneeling.
Let us heal your mother before they are released from your command.
With no further prodding, I hurried to my mother's feet while Andy took her hands and I concentrated as I have never done before. My father came out of hiding and was by my side sobbing. I watched Andy's heat combine with my own to heal her heart until I could see no more of the poison. My mother opened her eyes and my father picked her up out of the coffin and ran out of the room with her. Everyone was standing and at the back of the hall was a great commotion. Dragons parted like the Red Sea. It was Thana being carried in on a stretcher by several drakes. Her husband kneeled at my feet.
Please, my prince, heal my wife.
I cannot heal her alone. You must ask Andy for forgiveness and help.
I pulled her next to me.
Please forgive me. I will free all my slaves and pay what you ask if you will heal her.
Andy gave me a look that said it wasn't necessary and took me by the hand. We laid our hands on her and began to heal her. It was the same poison they had given Eddie. I'm going to name it the Stinger. Thana opened her eyes and her husband wept.
I have one last question for my uncle. Why did Cass run tests on me in the lab?
She wanted to see if you were a dragon or just a human. She was very happy when she discovered you were. It was our hope that you would accept us as your parents when your mother died. With all your talents, you would be a great asset to our family.
I turned toward Thana and her husband, making a quick decision.
Acting for my mother, I give you, Thana Brimstone, the throne until my sister Rose is of age to receive it. Until then, do you swear to keep this clan free of slavery and allow anyone to marry who they will without degradation?
I used the voice to make sure she was telling me the truth.
I swear it.
You stupid boy, pick anyone but her.
I ignored Cass.
Elders, come to me.
There was scuffling as they made their way.
I am entrusting you to work with your temporary queen to keep her promises and support her in her efforts. When I return, I hope to see great changes to this prideful clan.
You're leaving us?
Yes.
But what will we do without a diviner?
I will come back to check on you. If you have an emergency, you can contact the Kowski tribe. They have a very skilled diviner.
I transformed out of my dragon. I took hold of Snow's hand, and as a group we walked out of the room. Skunk joined us.
That was so awesome.
She said when we got out on the patio.
And I recorded it all.
I would like a copy for our archives.
Eddie and Mateus joined our group a few minutes later. Mateus took hold of Skunk's hand. Eddie kissed Andy. I looked at Snow and wanted to kiss her, but I didn't. She reached up and kissed me instead.
That is the end of the paper bag. Hope you enjoyed it. It's time to subscribe.
Fire and brimstone spin around you. Haze of smoke, can't find what's true. Lost my sight in this darkened maze. Who am I in this heavy daze? Shadows dance on your wicked grin. Secrets held in the whispers thin.